Hi guys, welcome to my channel, Lighting Your Sunshine, where we like to shine a light within and empower ourselves. So today I went to the cards to pick which ones, and they said the third one down. So that turned out to be Divine Guidance, and we have the Oracle of the Fairies. And I kind of did like a little like hiya moment, and when I looked at it, yeah, it's very pink. Got inner child and coming together. But when I first did my hiya, it was blue. It was inner cave, emotions, depths, and then there was one sleeping. So that's what they showed me, was like a time to like slow down. I feel like maybe someone right now is just like really tired all the time, and they're trying to push themselves to be like, no, I gotta go out and do things. I gotta go. And then it's like, where are you gonna go? There's nothing you have to do at this moment except for integrate and release and heal. And I was using my friend's book again, because I realized yesterday, I forgot to say her name. I kept being like, my friend this, here's a picture. But I think it's because myself, I'm so private that like there was like someone hanging out with them, and like they like photographed all their life, and they put like my address on the internet, and I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, that's just like something that I don't like. So when I do kind of like talk to someone, I never say names. So that's why I was like, my friend, and I was like, well, I'm trying to like show her work, and I never even said like who she was. So we're gonna use her book again. So this is the book. It's called These Words of Love. Ramblings, reflections, and inspirations on the self-love journey. And so there's my friend there. That's Tamara. See, there's the name if you want to read it. Tamara Hanson. And so I met her back in Alberta. We've been friends for quite a while now. And so when I first met her, I met her at a point. Okay, why am I saying this? All right. So she wrote a book, and it took her like 10 years. I don't know how long it really took. A decade, 10 years. It was a really long time. And because that's how long I've known her. And it was the Self-Love Alchemy book. And so what I love about her is like, she really is like pure heart and love. We've kind of gone through a lot of the same process, but in different ways. I feel like I'm darker and more twistier, and like, I'll like pop off, and like she's just pure love, And so I think that's why I love her so much, is because when I do need a voice of reason, I like go to her, and I could just see that she has like the wisdom to like collect herself and stay calm the whole time. Me, I'm an air element. I'm like, ma, she's an air element too. No, she's not. She's fire. Anyways, I met her at a point where I was going through something. I had just gotten out of a relationship, and I kind of lost myself in it. And that seems to be like the thing I keep learning, is like, how do you be in partnerships but not lose yourself? And so for myself, it was all about like codependency and like abandonment issues and those kind of things. And like, I was a fixer, a people pleaser, especially at that time. And so in that one, I was like, move on in. Like, I moved this person in after so quick, and like kind of sabotaged some other friendships and relationships in doing that. But afterwards, which it wasn't even the best. It wasn't the best relationship at all, but man, did I learn so many karmic lessons, like a bajillion lessons. And afterwards, I was like, damn, like I don't have any friends anymore. I kind of had focused so much on this one guy. Silly. And so that's when I met her. I met her at this point. And so that's why I value like female friendships so much. Because I met this group. I remember I've always been a medium. I've always been like into this kind of stuff, but I never knew tarot, because you need to know the stories and the symbolisms and all that stuff. So the natural gift I always had, but the rest you kind of had to work at. So I met them. I was like, well, what do you do? Like, I don't want to go back to my old friends, because like you'd hang out with them, but you had changed, you'd grown, you didn't grow on the same journey together. And so hanging out with them, you're like, this just isn't fun anymore. And maybe that's why it's split. But I was like, well, what are your hobbies? And I was like, well, I like the spirituality stuff. So I went to this tarot reading class. You paid a toonie, and you went to this guy's house. and just learn to read cards. And one day, this like really vivacious group of like, they were older than me. These older women came and they just had so much joy, and like their inner child shone so brightly. And I was like, when I'm older, like I want to be as carefree as them. Little to find out that we all were kind of going through the same thing. So it doesn't matter like at what age, at what time in your healing phase you do these things. At the right moment is when spirit guides you to the right people. And so what's really cool about this, especially like my one friend, there she is again. So she's a psychologist. No, she went to school for psychology, but she never quite went into that field. Like I said, she's just so freaking nice, and she's smart, and she's intelligent. And so there's this group of women, and they really loved empowering each other. And the thing with them, because I had one thing that like really bugged me, I was working through it all the time. They'd like listen to your venting, they'd listen to your story, but they wouldn't let you sit there and dwell in it. And I think that's the key to having an empowering group of women, right? A lot of the times we have friends who just, oh, they're toxic, or that's just them, that's their thing. But if you're, I don't know, if they wouldn't let you stay in that toxic, tearing down, crab in the bucket mentality. So I'm really fortunate that I had met these people, because the last like decade has been quite a roller coaster. But the real foundation, the real things of everything that like happened was with them. So like the roots were really strong, and then I went off on the opposite side of the coin of that lesson that I learned with that relationship. I was now on the opposite side of that. And so it's just interesting to see that. And so what's the theme of all this? My theme, like I said, I struggled with codependency and abandonment issues. And like, how do you find yourself in relationships but not lose yourself? And so this person has helped me tremendously through my discovering of who are you and what do you want, and what are proper boundaries, and how do you follow your heart. So yeah, and I put a link if you want to read any of her books, but this one was like channeling. She woke up in the middle of the night and was just feeling so inspired, like she had to, right? Spirit was just, write this down, learn your lesson, share with others. And so let's pick a random one and then we'll start. Yeah, we got 78. Learning how to love yourself means consistently nourishing yourself with loving thoughts and emotions. Okay, so as I said that, I'm going to read it one more time. Learning how to love yourself means consistently nourishing yourself with loving thoughts and emotions. So now I'm being drawn to like another amazing woman that I got to cross paths with. But she would share like little videos on her Facebook and things like that. And she talked about, you know how like you can have like one thought or one memory, one negative one that's like, it just stays in there. It's like a piece of dirt. Everything else is like pure and clean and all these things. But this one always comes back. And it's because it's still there. You're not processing and getting up and out. And so she showed it as, especially yesterday's was talking about the chakras clearing everything out. Oh no, I need water. Anyways, how we're kind of like working through all the gunk and the old emotions and the suppressed things. So she talked about how you could have like a jar or a bucket. It was a bucket and there's like dirt on it. And it's like, how do you clean that the easiest way? Well, you like overflood it with clean water. That could be a little wasteful, but in this situation, she said like you put the hose in it and you just run it and run it and run it and run it. And once it starts overflowing, all the dirt's gonna go up and out. So that's what I saw when I saw that. It's like, flood yourself with positive love and emotions. Because the more and more you think that negative thing, that a negative emotion, it's like you're attaching onto it again. You can't clear it. The best thing in this is to observe. And so when I think of my one friend, there she is again. She always talks about equanimous. I don't even know if I'm saying it right, but we went to this meditation retreat at different times. She's the one that actually found it. And then I was just like damn, that sounds really hard. And so it was like a vow of like silence for 10 days. And like, I was like, well, I don't want to be influenced by your experience. So I just went, I like threw myself into it. And I was like, damn, this was hard. It was like the most empowering thing that ever I experienced. And it was cool for her to go afterwards and not have any of my experience and then to actually be able to compare them. But equanimous is coming through, and it's just like the almost like not observing to the bad or the good, like that comes up a lot. It just is what it is. And so funny. Okay, so I did pull one card and we got abundance. And you know, in yesterday's, it was like talking about money. And I even replied to like one of the comments. It was like, I swear, I thought money or something was going to come through more. But I'm also learning that, and tree wisdom's coming out. There's a little bit of yesterday's coming through. Do I need to shuffle more? No. Okay. First one to come out was abundance and tree wisdom. And then over here, we have protect your dreams, which makes sense because when I first was doing like the quick shuffle and I did like the quick hiya, it was like rest and sleeping and like the inner cave and the water. Hey, the flooding the bucket, flooding emotions. So I feel like it's time to rest. Someone just keeps really pushing themselves and they're like, nope, I gotta do all this stuff. I gotta. You don't gotta do anything except right now really focus on those emotions, those things that are coming up and out. Especially with that, I'm seeing that meditation retreat, being equanimous, as my friend always talks about. Observing it. It comes and like not anything, because it's time for it to come up and out. But they keep showing me someone who's like, it almost comes up and then they're like, zoom, like latch onto it. It's like, I can't let that go. That's not fair. This happened, or this and this and this. And what did I learn from it? What about this? And then it grows energy. You're giving it time and so much energy. So abundance. It says, prepare yourself for incoming abundance. Release any mental blocks you may have. In fairyland and in human land, there is enough abundance for everyone. So, the other weeks ago, I was it talked about the old gods. And so I started watching American Gods again. And then it was really kind of cool because it was like March 21st, it's going to be taken off Prime. And I was like, what? Which is funny because I had this other show I was watching, Dollface. And it had Kat Dennings and Brenda Song. I don't know. It was all about like empowering female friendships. And it was like season 1 going to be done by this. I'm like, that's cool because I'm on season 2. And when I went back for it, season 2 was gone. And I've been like kind of bitter and stewing because I was like, I watched that once and I was in a bad relationship. And I was like, yeah, you really can't let go of your friends because it is so important to have all that. And then that is leading to this. There's something to do with having yourself. I think, okay, what are you showing me, Spirit? They're just showing your tribe. Your vibe attracts your tribe. And you have to make sure that everybody is in the same boat, that you kind of have to have like the same heart, beliefs, values, or goals or something like that. You don't want someone who's like drilling holes in the boat. Something about book. And then crabs in a bucket, right? Especially with that bucket, as the other person's analogy was, how do you get that piece of dirt or the mud out? You have to flood it with positive thoughts and emotions. Which was in the book, was all about that. And then, but if you have someone who's like a little secret hater, they're always going to be that negative person that like, no matter what, like you're like, hey, guess what? Something really cool happened. And then they'll just taint it. They'll just taint it with that energy because they're not choosing the love, the higher thing. And as I said with my friend, I feel like I'm that person. I'm that negative shadow person. And sometimes I was, and then sometimes everyone is. But what I do find with all the friends was we're all in different lessons and like real life problems, right? But the heart's matched up. So you have to find your people, find your tribe. because as this is coming in, I got totally distracted. So then I was watching American Gods, and it said it was going to disappear. And all of a sudden, as like this reading's coming on, like so many like empowering women have been messaging me. I'm just like, ooh, cool. It's just like, didn't hear from anyone all day, and I started this video, and it's like one after another. And it's just, I guess this is for someone who's been feeling lonely, and Spirit's saying, like, you're not alone. You do have those who do have the same heart, and they understand why you did what you did or when you need time. Because it talked about going into sleep. Hey, look, and here's one sleeping. There is a need to take back a little bit, and those who understand you will give you your space to go heal, to go do those things that you're meant to do. And then when you come back, they'll be happy that you're back because they want to see you at your best. But Spirit's being like, pay attention to who's that negative person. But in here, again, back to American Gods, there's the leprechaun, which also is a fairy element type energy. But it said, release any mental blocks you may have in fairyland and in human land. And so yesterday I talked about money and how people either hoard it or they frivolously spend it and not understand that. But I'm seeing your heart or your thoughts and memory as a currency, an energetic currency of where you're vibrating or how you can flood it. Your bucket is all about your thoughts and memories. And so in that one, right, you could like take coins from like out of the air, because he would reach into fairyland and they had a hoard there. And so he would take there or he would give back there. So that's what I'm seeing. It's like there's these things or this space that you have reality and then you have fantasy, your imagination or daydreams or what you see now. And in both of them, it's having those two memories come together and mesh. And so if you are a very pessimistic person, well, that's the cloth you're cutting from. But I'm seeing, be very careful about those around you. Because I see someone being very hopeful, very excited. And I think that's why Spirit's also saying, like, protect your dreams. Is you keep oversharing everything with them, thinking that they're going to be excited for you. But you might be even growing faster. Crabs in a bucket mentality. And so they're gonna poo-poo on your parade. And yeah. So I see a little bit of pulling back, but finding this balance between having those bonds and those friendships, but not losing yourself, right? And that's where I feel like I really could come in, because I'm at this point in life where I faced like really tough things that like you can't, I won't follow the crowd. I won't. Not if it comes at a cost to what I want or what I think and what, right? I'll go do what I want to do. That's, and I love getting older. And you know how you always see like grandmas and things like that, like you get older. And like, I'm so glad I found out about it earlier, because it's only going to get better from here. So let's read the other ones. We have tree wisdom, and it says the tree dryad will help you navigate through your current situation. Her flute can reveal insights and answers through the sounds it makes. And then what's this one? Protect your dreams. You are the guardian of your precious dreams, and they are safe in your care. Keep them close to your heart until you're ready to release them. So I really see someone struggling. And the only reason why you're struggling is because like you want to share your story. You want to you mean that's a book. But it's like you want to tell everyone your plans as you're going through it and have them be like a part of your journey. But you have different journeys, some of you. And so the more and more you keep telling this one person, the more and more they plant. And it's almost like, I don't know about you, but like you tell me I can't do something, like now I'm going to take that, I'm going to use that as stepping stones, and I'm going to 100% do it. But not everything is like that. I feel like there's just someone you keep telling, and you want them to be like excited for your journey, but they're not excited. And then I kind of, and I just see it like shots fired every time. You're almost up and out. You're almost that like that happy. And rather than them elevating and doing the work, they just bring you back down. And now you're almost at the thing where you're like, well, maybe I won't try. And that's the greatest. I'm hearing a lullaby right now. The flute, oh, mad chills. I'm hearing a lullaby. It's sadness. It says, her flute can reveal insights and answers through the sounds it makes. So I'm hearing a lullaby. But a lullaby is sad. It's soft. It's, I don't know. I really feel like there's fairyland, there's real land. And in dream time, that's when they come together. There's something that you're almost letting go. You've almost processed. And it just needs to be flushed out. And I see like sleeping in your dreams are the space where you go, you observe it, because it seems like in the 3D, you observe it and you attach to it. And you're like, I gotta learn more from this, so it'll never happen again. But in the dreams, it's like a movie. You watch it, you observe it, and you let it go. Just like ships coming in the night and going. And so there's someone really tired right now. And it's almost like Spirit's excited that you're tired because that's you processing these heavy things. The only reason why you're feeling so sluggish is because you've got heavy emotions that want to come up and out. And it's time to let them go. And in a 3D, in the reality, your mind doesn't understand quite the reasoning of everything yet, because it wants to take things and make sense and reason. That it doesn't make sense, and it's not meant to make sense, because you're not that character anymore. You're not that player. It's like a game or something they're showing me. Ooh, okay, so I did pull some divine ones, and I didn't know how they played in, but these are them. And so this one, when I said it's like a game or something, this kind of, I don't know, when I was little or younger, there used to be a show called like Reboot, and there's like this like matrixy type area, and that's what I kind of saw. It was like, and all these things came, and it was just like a different, I don't know, they're showing it as a game. What about this game? It's just like levels and consciousness. I'm cold. I need a sweater. I gotta pause this. This is too cold. Okay, as I went to grab my jacket, they just kind of like talked, they just keep saying it's the game of life, that everything in life is a game. And it's weird. They're showing me that there's these certain things. It's almost like you hit a certain thing and it's like a trigger. Like, right, as soon as you get to this certain checkpoint or this thing, then this all happens. This all plays out. And they're almost showing like it doesn't exist up and until that point. So that doesn't make sense to me. They're saying, well, what doesn't make sense? And they're kind of being saucy. They showed me like you're a little kid, then you're a teenager, then you're an adult. Like they're not playing the same emotions. They're not going through the same lessons, the same everything. They're like, it's just a game. And I guess that's how the fairy realm kind of sees things. It should be more fun, more playful. They are serious, but they're just showing different activations and coming online. New stages and new character avatars. And so when I look in this, I see like a body here and I see some wings coming out, and this blue one is standing out the most. Only because it's the only thing that doesn't make sense. It's almost like all this blue here blends in because I see it as the wings, but this one, what's up with that? The third eye. But it's not even in the third eye, it's above the head. The all-seeing, higher self. And I hit it right on the nose, they said. Okay, so they showed like this little being, and there's something outside of it. And it was a third eye. And it was like outside of yourself is this thing, but then when you actually stood back, the thing that was the third eye was actually the nose of the higher self. It's just a bigger picture. And so, I don't know, there's just different end bosses, different things like that they're kind of showing. But there's this abundance to come with it. And so they're showing back to the bucket. Is that a bucket right there? No, I saw a bucket. It looks like there's a bucket there. Is that a bucket? Or is that just the bank? I'm seeing, Kate, you can bank on it, I heard. And I'm seeing, do you see the bucket? Like at the end of the rainbow, there's that thing, pot of gold. That's what I'm seeing to go with the abundance. And what about this? So here's a rainbow. It's like going and going and going, like boom. There's something to do with abundance. But they're saying like this abundance, maybe to you think it's like coins and gold and those kind of things. But a little bit. But it's your thoughts and memories that are the gold. Remember how they said, oh shoot, was it 78? Yeah. Learning how to love yourself means consistently nourishing yourself with loving thoughts and emotions. That's that real like currency. That's the energetic flow. That's what the real abundance is. Because when your mind believes you can, and belief is such a strong thing. If you don't believe you can, you won't. And so I as I'm thinking about that, there's a couple times where I've gotten really hurt in life. And before I did it, I looked at the people and I said, I can't do this. And they're like, no, you can. And I was like, listen, I'm telling you, I cannot do this, right? I had a very good intuition. I had guides. My guides were like, you can't fucking do this. And I was like, I know. And they're like, oh, you can do it. Everyone can do it. And then every time I went and did what I told them I couldn't do, I ended up blacked out. This is me. I had that one person who was like, I'm like, and it's opposite. Whereas this one, I'm like, there's someone negative. This is me saying, no, I know my limit. I know I can't do that. They're like, yeah, you can. And then I ended up laid out. So I feel like, why is that coming through? Nourishing your thoughts and memories. Because I guess it could go both ways. It could go that people are pressuring you to do things that you don't want to, or it could be that you're doing something and someone doesn't want to put in the energy for themselves and see you grow up out of their bucket. But the bucket, if you're in it, right, if you're stuck in it, if those are your boundaries and your walls, and you can't get to the next level, the next bank, now I'm kind of seeing like you're just drowning, and that emotion's choking you up. And I saw the blue, and the blue is the third eye, but it really is the color of the throat chakra, and like you can't breathe in that. And so I'm seeing thoughts and things like that needing a refresher right on the nose and let it go. I don't know, I just keep seeing someone go boop, boop, boop. The lullaby was blues. Okay, now they're showing me when I passed out. Why am I passed out? Why is that any of importance to this reading? They showed so much information being given that I had it, and then whatever happened in that realm, right? You know, you like black out and then you like wake up and there's like that tingly feeling. Ugh, I hate that feeling. That like coming to the difference between this reality to that reality, and like and all of a sudden you get heavier and heavier and heavier in your body. And I feel like that's maybe what hurts, because here it's very dense and over there it's very light. And so something to do with thoughts. and not letting other people persuade you to do what you know you're not ready to do, and what you are ready to do, not persuade you to not do, to do or not do. Because I see you coming into this moment where it keeps talking about the game of life. Life is a game. Everything's a game. It's just funny. And that's what they say. It's all fun and games. But so I almost see that like being so serious in life, and then all of a sudden waking up and being like hacking the matrix and like being like, I'm not playing this game. I don't have to play this game. And so now you're stuck out of all those, like, once I get here, that person's gonna pop out and be like, hello, and then they go back in. And then, you know, it's like, no matter what, okay, so I'm not gonna say specifically what it is, but I wait and I wait and I wait to make these videos, and I do different times a day, and I make sure, and every single time I start a video, there is one thing that always happens, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, you'll never see this thing happen, ever, 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 until I come and start the video. And that's kind of what they're showing. It's these things that are like, they're showing it as triggers, but it's not triggers, it's triggers of the game, of the responses that play out afterwards. So they're saying switch up routine. But right now, I think that's the thing, is the person is stuck in routine. They're like, no, I gotta do all these things. I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this. And you don't have to do any of those things right now. Seems like the main thing right now is to rest and come back to yourself and integrate those two worlds. And in that resting, I see you not latching onto the heavy thoughts, the heavy feelings, and flooding that bucket with new light, new positivity. That's it right there. And I'm seeing a heart activation happen. And with that, they say pull another one of this. Ooh, interesting. So I did page 43, and it says, your soul isn't tired. Your soul can't be tired. And this is all about like, protect your dreams. You're tired. Rest when you need to rest. So for this to be like, you're not tired, I'm intrigued. It says, your soul isn't tired. Your soul can't be tired. It is pure positive energy. The issue is that we are not aligned to our true selves. Therefore, the tiredness happens at a deeper level. Becoming aligned with our higher selves, rather than allowing the ego to control our lives, will shift our awareness to higher consciousness. That's what I saw in this one. There was like the fairy there, but then it went boom, and it was like this even bigger being. And the bigger being looked like an owl. And everything that's the smaller one, it almost is like the mouth, the throat, and the heart is almost where the whole being is. It's like, so a lot of like clearing and working on this area. But when you zoom out, that was just a tiny thing there. That there's just so much more to fill in, so much more expansion to grow into. I remember the other day it talked about Phoenix rising moments, and it's saying like, you're not going to go to ashes. And so that's what I'm seeing this now. It's like an outline of consciousness, like, wow, I can be this big. Wow, I can be this big now. Wow, 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 wow. And that's what I see. So I feel like I'm supposed to read this one, and then we can wrap it up. You are the guardian of your precious dreams, and they are safe in your care. Keep them close to your heart until you're ready to release them. But I still don't feel like we really like got into that. What am I not getting? Someone's tired, but your soul can't be tired because your soul is unlimited. You're just kind of blocking off other parts of your soul from coming in and integrating. There's a thought or a memory that kind of pulls you down, And they are talking about a need to check your circle because, as this said, share when you're ready. Because I feel like someone keeps sharing with someone and it's not quite ready to share with them because they don't understand and they're kind of a buzzkill. And so not to share with that. And another one, I see people pushing you into something you're not ready for. And you said you're not ready for it. And you're like, I need to slow down because there's these deeper parts that need to integrate and come to the forefront. And they're like, oh, no, just push you out. You can, and don't listen to those people. I feel like if you know what's best for you, rest and care right now as you expand. And so yesterday, there was that thing I wrote, and I always ponder it whenever I see this book because I never take it out. And trees grow. But the one part was like, the more I know, the more I realize I am so much. And when I first read it, I'm like, no, you forgot the other half of that sentence. And I was like, no, that is the end of the sentence. Like, you are so much. You think you're this, but you're so much more. And so I ask, how do you utilize it all and not become fragmented? Because when I saw that little fairy in it, they're like so condensed and packed, and like everything was like vibrant there, but everything else was like translucent because it hasn't been explored yet. That part hasn't been unlocked, and so I see the rest. When you rest, you go deeper, as that said. That's where the higher consciousness is now coming in, expanding, growing. Whereas the other one was kind of like egotistical, like, this is everything, I know everything. But you do know a lot. You know when to rest, when to go, when to expand, and when to follow your heart. There's a lot of abundance to come because there's a lot of translucent lines that, like this opaqueness that's ready to have your energy fill it up and have that spark and that color to it. So I want to, did I even do this one? It's alchemy. And that's why you can't go back to the old ones, because it's almost like cooking. They're showing, right, you take all these ingredients and you make a cake, but you can't reverse it and get the egg back. What came first? Well, whatever you want, the chicken or the egg. And it's like, well, we're going to crack eggs and we're going to make new things. And so, I don't know, we have cake. Cake seems to be the thing that is a big deal. What about cake? Because honestly, it's come out in a couple of readings, and at one time I last saw it and I was like, again, cake coming out? And I didn't talk on it. It's the alchemy of rising above negative situations. And so that's why you can't go back to those ones, because you're not the same. You've changed and you've transformed. And now that's what they're showing the soul. The soul is not cooking, not quite alchemizing, it's transforming into something more expansive and brighter and more powerful and less fragmented. So when I see the less fragmented, it's like at the beginning of your recipe, you have all the ingredients, right? You got flour, you got milk, you got eggs, you got butter, you got whatever you put in cakes. I don't bake cakes. I like cookies. And chocolate chips. And then at the end, it's one cohesive thing. So I see almost all those as being fragments, like ingredients, different aspects or things to yourself, and then incorporating that to blend together into your higher self, you, your soul, whatever this is. That's the real abundance. And when you are yourself more, your heart is what, okay, so she's sitting here and like there's a heart activation. Your heart, and I was actually thinking this the other day, I was like, man, okay, I got so many walls and I like having my walls because in the past I've been very stupid. And when I like don't have my walls and my protection, I just go and love the whole world, and then I get burned. And I was like, I didn't want to get burned anymore, spirit. I'm okay just being whatever for a bit. And they're like, no, like your heart's like growing and growing and growing. And I was like, yeah, but I don't want to be that fun and happy. So who doesn't want to be that fun and happy and loving? But that was me for a bit. In the winter, right? Because I'm like, winter, I can't wait for summer. That makes more sense to be like whatever in the summer. But in the winter, I just wanted to chill. I just wanted to keep it cool and protect my dreams. That was me. This is me all winter. And your hands do have that poo 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 poo. But now I just feel like I'm rambling and I really gotta wrap this up. Yeah. Anyways, I see alchemy happening and you can't go back to how things were. And sometimes you grow apart from people. But sometimes you have those who have the same beliefs, goals, values, heart, and they grow with you no matter how much time or separation. And you can always go back and connect with them. And so it's important to always maintain those relationships and to reach out and not take them for granted. And that's your real abundance. When you're at the top with all your friends and you can be like, hey, guess what? Really cool things happened. And they can actually celebrate you and you can celebrate them. That's what I see as the real gift, the real jewel, the real gem. So I see you taking manifestations from fairyland, from your dreams, from your beliefs, and like making really cool stuff happen and like people being excited for you. And because, well, if you could do it, then they could do it. And you thrive off of each other's positivity. And there is no crabs in a bucket mentality. It's taking everyone with you. And it's not that you're taking them, they're working on themselves to raise up. And so it's going to be awesome. And so with that, we'll leave it there. I hope you have a good day and we'll see you next time. Bye guys.